All right. We'll find our way into our chairs if we're not there already. And you can sit back a little bit further this morning so normally we're on the edge of the chair. I wanted to start out with a little bit more like a relaxed kind of pose. So it's our feet are flat on the floor, but maybe we're leaning back a little bit into the chair, being supported by the chair. We can close our eyes or take a soft gaze. And we're going to check in like we normally do and notice what you're bringing to the chair this morning. Now, it could be physical, it could be thoughts, it could be anything. And see what you can notice. Sometimes the physical things are the easiest to notice first, so you kind of notice them and acknowledge them, and then move on to the next thing. We're gonna look for areas of tightness or any areas where we're holding on to something. Could be physical. And then even notice if there's some idea or feeling, some emotion that you're holding on to that you can maybe let go of, set aside for an hour. And now think of 3 positive things. Now, extra points if you can think of 3 positive things about yourself. And now you can see if you can remember to think of those 3 things, or think of 3 new things every day. We'll bring our attention to the breath. Notice the natural movement of the breath, both in the actual traveling of the breath or in the movements of your body while you're breathing. And if we can, we're going to start to lengthen and deepen the breath. So taking longer, deeper inhales, taking longer to exhale. So you fill up the belly, then the chest, and then exhaling, everything softens. Chest lowers, belly draws in. Take just a few more breaths here together, and then we'll start some movement in our practice. Now, while you're doing this deep breathing, see if you can start to walk your seat bones forward in the chair until we're in our mountain pose. We're sitting up taller, maybe pressing our hands down into our thighs to engage. And now on your next exhale, we're gonna dip the chin towards the chest and around the spine. So we're bringing the spine towards the back of the chair. Our shoulder blades are protracting. They're moving away from each other, and our shoulders in the front are moving towards each other. I think I like to think of like a sail on a sailboat. And then inhaling, the belly goes forward, pelvis goes forward, shoulder blades come towards each other, chin jaw goes up slightly. And then we'll reverse it. So we're going back and forth, cat and cow, seated. So inhaling, we expand the front of the body. Exhaling, we collapse the front of the body or expand the back of the body. So take just a few more breaths here, moving through these cat and cow positions. And we'll come back to our mountain pose, sitting up tall. The crown of the head is the tallest point. So imagine a tiara on your head, and we're lifting it up towards the ceiling. And we're gonna take our right hand to our right shoulder, and we'll start to circle. So circling the elbow, drawing a circle with the elbow. You can go as fast or as slow as you want. See if you can match it up to the breath. Inhaling, opening the elbow towards the back, exhaling, bringing it forward. And open up the elbow towards the back of the room, taking a twist here. Couple breaths. And then come back to center. We'll take the left hand to the left shoulder, and we'll circle the left elbow. We'll start to make bigger circles with the left elbow, till eventually we're twisting to the left. And then we'll hold, inhaling up tall. And then we'll come back to center. We'll place our right hand down towards the right, and we're going to tip our head to the left. So our head is tilted away from the extended arm. And you can even kind of dip the chin towards the chest and roll back. So you're kind of making a quarter circle here, an arc, I guess, or curved line. You feel the different pulls on the neck. Or maybe you just hold. Come back through the center, and we'll extend the left arm out, tilting our head to the right. Same thing, you can make a quarter circle here. And then we'll come back to center. We'll take our hands and place them just below the collarbone. And we're going to push down gently as we raise our chin up. So sometimes you have to kind of wiggle around a little bit, pressing down onto your chest, down just below the collarbones, and lift the chin up. Just a couple of breaths here. And then we'll release and come back to our mountain pose. Check in briefly, notice how these small movements that we've made, how they feel. And then we'll extend our left hand out to the left, and we'll start to take some wrist rolls as we inhale, bringing the arm all the way up. Now you might not be able to get it all the way up right away. I'm gonna follow the breath. And then switching sides. Sweep both arms up. Draw the belly button in. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Okay, wrist roll. As your breath starts to lengthen, maybe you can go up further. Maybe you can hold at the top, taking a full stretch. Switching sides when you get there. We'll sweep both arms up. Push the ceiling away, really tall through the spine, and exhale and fold. Inhale, halfway lift or flat back. Exhale again and fold. Sweep both arms up, come all the way up to your tall spine. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. So the chest lifts, belly draws in on this final hands to the heart. Wrist roll. Switching sides. Feels like it's starting to warm up here. Either that or I'm just warming up. Inhale, both arms up. Push the ceiling away. Exhale and fold. Inhale to a halfway lift or flat back. Shoulder blades are coming together and down the back as we're doing this. Exhale and fold. Inhale, sweep both arms up. We're going to exhale and twist to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to the left. Am I losing you, Carol? Inhale back to center. Exhale, hands to the heart. Hit wrist roll. And then wrist roll back down. Switching sides. And back down. Inhale, sweep both arms up. Push the ceiling away. Exhale and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep both arms up. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, back to center. We're gonna exhale and lift the right knee. So first lift it without your hands. So you're gonna lift it up using your core, your hip flexors, and then we'll reach down for the knee or shin. We're gonna pull that knee in towards the chest, keeping the back long, back spine tall, and we can take some ankle rolls here. It's funny, these classes make me realize the spots that I neglect on a general basis, and ankles are one of them. My ankles especially feel it first thing in the morning when I get out of bed, and yet I always forget to do any kind of stretching with them. We're gonna inhale the arms up, left knee comes up, hold it up with your core, and then on the next exhale, hold with your hands. You can take ankle rolls on this side. Switch directions. We're going to inhale, extend the arms overhead. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Okay, last time through, wrist rolls. Switching sides. Inhale, sweep both arms up. Push the ceiling away as you exhale and fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep both arms up. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right knee up, give it a squeeze. Inhale, extend. So the right leg is straight and lifted, spine is tall. And then we'll lower that right heel down, foot is flexed. You can bring your hands to your left thigh. Hinge forward slightly if you want. We'll draw the right heel back, inhale the arms up. Exhale, the left knee comes up and gets a squeeze. Inhale, extend. Left foot is flexed, left leg is straight, and then we'll lower the left heel down, hands to the right thigh, hinging forward if you want, but the spine stays long the whole time. It appears my internet is a little laggy here. We'll inhale the arms up. Draw that left heel back. Exhale, hands to the heart. Then we're going to take both knees very wide, kind of stretching the inner thigh here a little bit. And we'll place our hands on our knees, or well, right above our knees. And we're going to tilt the left shoulder down towards the middle between our legs here. So we're twisting. So this is a goddess twist. Pressing out into the thighs as your left shoulder comes forward. Taking a couple breaths here. Come back to center. Now the right shoulder will dip down in between here. Clearly, this is another one that I should be doing more. It's almost to a hurts so good kind of situation. And then we'll come back to center. So we're going to turn both knees over towards the right. So we're sitting sideways on our chair. We'll bring the left leg back. So the hip flexors on the left side are extended, they're open. And I have my whole right thigh supported on the chair. So depending on your chair, you may or may not want to do that. Totally up to you. We're going to draw the belly in, chest will lift. You can, if you feel balanced, you can extend one or both hands up. And we're going to be here for a couple breaths. So inhale again, up tall, and then we're going to exhale and twist to the right. So this should turn you so that your upper body, your shoulders is facing your chair. You're facing the back of the room now. First, we'll untwist. Bring our arms up again one more time. And then exhale, let the hands come down. We'll bring the left leg forward to meet the right. And we'll move ourselves back into our mountain pose, facing forward. Let's open up the knees wide again. Sit up tall. And then we'll place our left hand on the floor. Or if you can't reach the floor, if you have a block or a chair or something in front of you, something you can put your hand on. This wasn't for yoga, but it's like perfect. So you place your hand on something and then you can twist open here. So I have my right hand on my sacrum. So it's that triangle shaped, like shovel shaped bone right at the base of the spine, or almost at the base of the spine, before the tailbone. And we're rotating the right shoulder open. So the right shoulder comes towards the ceiling. Your left hand is on the floor or on a bolster or block or whatever you have handy. And then we'll untwist. So your right hand goes where your left hand was, and your left hand goes where your right hand was. So my right hand is on the bolster in front of me. My left hand is on my sacrum, and I'm going to rotate my left shoulder open towards the ceiling. Now untwist, place both hands on my hips, and come all the way up to a tall spine. We're eventually going to turn over towards the left, so our knees are pointed to the left. My left thigh is supported by the chair, and my right leg will come back. So same thing, hip flexor on the right side is opening. Belly draws in, so to support the low back. Not a huge, back bend in the lumbar spine at this point. We're just holding the belly in to support our core. You can raise one or both arms up depending on your balance and your comfort level. We'll take a couple breaths here. Focusing on that core. So big inhale, tall spine. Exhale, twist to the left, maybe holding onto the back of the chair. Your shoulders move to face the back of the room. The front of your shoulders would, I guess. So we're twisting to the left now. So the first thing we'll do is we'll untwist, raise the arms up nice and tall here again in the spine, belly draws in, and we exhale, bring the hands to the heart. We'll bring that right leg forward and turn to face the front. Wish I had some kind of elegant, tricky way to get you all like moved around like that, but maybe it'll come. So sitting up tall, check in again. Notice if there's any parts that we worked on that are kind of speaking to you right now. For me, it's kind of always my hip flexors are like, hey, we've done something. Okay. So when we check in, we're not judging, we're not you know, working on changing anything necessarily. We're just checking in, noticing things. I think you can't change anything you don't notice, first of all, but I think we all know that. So we're sitting up tall and we're going to rock to a standing position or more or less kind of lean forward, shift your weight into your feet a little bit stronger, lift the booty up off the chair a bit and then come back down. So trying to use as little momentum as possible, but use what is required. I have this dressage trainer that I was getting lessons with. I'd like to get more lessons with, but anyway, she said someone had told her use as little as possible, but as much as necessary. And I think, you know, it's kind of a great saying or quote for a lot of things. And then we'll come all the way up. Good. And march it out. We'll work a little bit with balance here. So we're going to take our feet together. We're going to interlace our fingers and push the knuckles away. So have your chair handy just in case you start to lose your balance. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the knuckles over to the right-hand side of your torso. So if they can't reach on their own, kind of get them over into that direction. We are then going to tip our head to the right-hand side. So our knuckles are on the right and our head is tilted to the right. Now, if you want to add a little extra balance challenge here, you can do it on one foot, or you could close your eyes, or you could do both. So I am actually on my right foot. My left one is lifted. Okay, we'll lower any feet that are lifted. We'll bring our knuckles behind us again, pushing the knuckles away, opening up through the heart. Okay, rolling the shoulder blades towards each other. Okay, then we'll bring the knuckles off to the left. Tilt your head to the left. And if you want, try to balance on your left foot. Lower the right foot if you have it lifted. Bring your hands back to center. Shake them out. March it out. And I'm gonna move my chair to the side so it's easier to see me. We'll do a little bit of a flow behind the chair. Okay. Coming into our mountain pose, our standing mountain pose, we are imagining that we're pulling the floor apart with our feet. So our legs are engaged. We have this great big fancy belt buckle. We're lifting up towards the ceiling. Shoulders are back. And then our chin, we can take our fist and place it right on our collarbones. Place your chin on top. So this kind of has your chin back a little bit so that if the back of your head, if you're sitting up against the wall, your sacrum, your shoulders, and the back of your head would all be on the wall. And you can definitely try this during the day. It's really good for your posture. So we're pulling the mat apart or our floor apart with our feet. We're going to inhale the arms up. And then exhale, if you can, bring them towards each other. We might take a tiny back bend. If you want, you can bring your gaze up towards your hands. It's not a huge back bend. And then exhaling, bringing the hands to the heart. And I like to focus on bringing that belt buckle up as I bring my hands down, because it's really easy to kind of overbend here and then kind of keep that position where my low back is arched. So kind of focus on bringing it back in. Inhale the arms up. One more time, tiny back bend. And then exhale, bringing the hands to the heart. Inhale the arms up. Tiny back bend if you want. And then exhale, place the hands on the chair, stepping back into your downward facing dog. And definitely for your first couple dogs, bend your knees. Have a nice long spine. Don't worry about the hamstrings at this point. They're probably getting a bit of stretch even with your knees bent. Taking a couple breaths here. You can even bend and straighten. You can come up onto the balls of the feet and then press the heels down. So I welcome you to play around. Inhale, look at the chair. Exhale, step the right foot forward. So we're on the ball of the left foot, right knee is bent. You can lift up one or both arms, coming into a crescent lunge. So your right leg or your left leg, with it being straight, imagine that some child or somebody is pressing on that thigh from behind and you are pressing back. So you are supporting the weight of that person pressing into that thigh. Belly button draws in, kind of taking care of that lower back. Inhale, come up nice and tall. Exhale, place the hands on the back of the chair. Step your right foot back to meet the left. Back into your downward facing dog. Taking a few breaths here. And inhale, look at the chair. Exhale, step the left foot as far forward as you can. We're in this crescent lunge here with the left foot forward, knee bent, right leg is straight. And again, we're imagining that we can hold this weight with that right leg. Arms up if you'd like. Taking a couple breaths here. So the core is engaged. Imagine someone was going to tickle you right now. You're going to pull your belly in. Big inhale, come up tall. Exhale, place the hands down. Step the left foot back to meet the right. Back into your down dog. And you can even take a big bend to the knees and straighten. We're going to inhale, look at the chair. Exhale, step or hop to the front, the back of the chair, to the front of your mat maybe. And then we'll inhale up onto the balls of the feet, bringing the gaze up if you can. Exhale, lower the heels. Inhale the arms up. Take a tiny back bend if you want. And exhale, hands to the heart. We're going to do another very similar flow. Inhale the arms up. Tiny back bend. Exhale. Place the hands on the back of the chair. Step back into your down dog. Take a few breaths here in down dog. Inhale, look at the chair. Exhale, step your right foot forward. Now we're going to place the left heel down. So you might need to step it a little bit wider out to the left and place that left heel down. Right knee is bent. Come up into your warrior one position here. So there's probably a good 2.5 feet between the left toes and the right heel, but they're also staggered a little bit. But I'm a bit taller than some of you, but they're a little bit, one's to the left, one's to the right. They're more on like train tracks versus a tightrope. The hips will face forward towards the chair, and then inhale the arms up if you aren't already there. So this might produce a stretch in the back of the left leg for you. Now see if you can kind of shift your weight a little bit to the outside of that left foot. Just so that you're lifting the arch, or the feeling of lifting that left foot, the arch on the left foot. Inhale here. Exhale, place the hands on the chair and step the right foot back, and then move the left foot back a little bit too, because if you had to modify like I did, your feet were not in the same position where you would have them for down dog. I'm gonna inhale, look at the chair. Exhale, step the left foot forward. Now again, if you need to bring the right foot out to the right and lower the heel, go ahead and do that. Come up to your warrior one type position here with the left foot forward, right foot back. And then again, we're sending our weight into kind of the outside of that right foot so that you would feel that your right arch is lifting, or that there's space under it. So imagine that you could like stick some 2 fingers underneath that arch without crushing the fingers. So inhale, nice and tall. Exhale, place the hands, step the left foot back and the right. Come back into your downward facing dog. Inhale, look at the chair. Exhale, hop or step forward to the back of the chair. Inhale up onto the balls of the feet. Exhale, lower the heels. Inhale the arms up, tiny back bend. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Awesome. Awesome. So we'll do our tree pose here. We'll start on the left foot. The left foot is grounding down. It's growing right through the floor that you're standing on into the dirt underneath your house or your porch or wherever you are, underneath my she shed. And so you're shifting your weight onto your left leg and you're pressing down with that left leg so that you're growing up tall out of that left leg. Your right foot can be, right knee and foot are kind of facing out to the right. You can bring it in so that your heel is pressing into your opposite ankle, or you can bring it up. We're just not pressing our right foot into our left knee joint. So it can be above or below. Pressing, everything kind of comes in and down from the waist down. From the waist up, you're growing, or maybe from the hips up, I would say. You're growing up and out. So imagine that tree with the big arms, the limbs coming out and up. So the focus is not just the left foot, but it's down beneath the left foot. Taking another breath or two here. Inhale up tall. Exhale, lower that right foot. lower the arms, march it out. Notice any differences between the left and right side currently. My left leg feels like it was really doing something. Okay, shifting your weight down through the right leg. So your roots go right through the floor into the dirt beneath you. The left foot and knee point, out to the left. You can bring it up or in, taking the variation on this side. Now, it doesn't have to be exactly the same as it was on the other side. Taking whatever variation that you want. From the hips down, you're pressing in, down, and then out at the feet. On the upper part of the body, you're growing up. So you're growing up and out of those joints, out of those bones, lifting. So inhale tall, exhale, lower that left foot, lower the arms, march it out. Come back in front of the chair, so wherever that may be. Mine seems to migrate around here. So taking our squat variation. So it could be goddess, it could be chair, it could be a wide-legged chair, feet together. Feet hip width, which is like 2 fist distance. So it's the hips where the hip joint is, not where the outside of the hips. So that your legs are straight here. But anyway, let's take your variation. You can sit the hips back. And we want to look down and if you're in a chair variation, make sure that you can see your feet. So if your knees are so far forward where you can't see your feet at all, that's going to put a lot of strain on your joints. So the hips are back. Arms are in any variation that you want. So you could have, prayer, goddess, whatever. Okay, and now we can think of something that we are grateful for in this position. Taking full breaths here. Big inhale, lengthen through the sides of the body. Exhale, lower all the way into the chair. I'm sweating now, geez. Anybody that says that chair yoga is not like exercise as well, they're missing it. They're missing it. Okay, sitting in our mountain pose, we're sitting up tall here. We're gonna do a little bit with the hips. So your choice, we can either take the left ankle over the right knee. You can be ankle to ankle. You can be crossed here at the knees. If you're crossing at the knees, the feeling that you're having, or your knees side by side, the feeling that you're having is that everything is drawing in. So if your knees are side by side, you're pressing your knees in. If you're crossing, your feet are coming towards each other. So you're squeezing everything in. This is a lot of inner thigh muscle action. If you want to kind of have a hip opening sensation, then your ankle will be over your knee. So pick whatever variation that you want. You also have the option to hinge forward. So in this variation, I'm adding compression to my left hip. I think of it as a sponge, like you're holding your sponge underwater and you wring everything out so that when you take and you unring it, when you let go of it, it fills up with water. So when I release the compression, hoping that there's blood flow that kind of rushes to that spot. That's kind of the idea behind yin, that there's compression, torsion, and stretch that is going to kind of create this blood flow opening of meridians through the body. We'll then come back up, release whatever variation that you had, and we're going to move over to the other side. So not symmetrical. On this side, my right knee is much higher than my left knee was when it was on that side. So for me, just sitting upright is a challenge. So that adds a ton of compression already. So for me, I would stop at the uprightness. I would not try to force the forward fold, because what ends up happening is my lower back feels it. Instead of getting the targeted area, which is my hip, it's actually moving into the muscles of my low back. So notice those things. Notice where you can feel, where you can make that feeling happen without the expense of another body part. So take whatever variation that works for you. And we'll take a few breaths on this side. There's a very fine line on this side for me between my hip and my back. If I'm not doing it just right, my back will feel it. Okay, we'll come up nice and tall, uncross, check in, notice how you feel. Now I'm going to move forward here and we'll do the hand stuff together. I like to be up closer. Okay, so first let's do a bit of a stretch here. So the palm with the fingers pointed down, reach under. And then switch. And then we'll proceed to tap. So tapping the karate chop side, the pinky finger side of the hand. And then try to focus on your core while you're doing it, because I tend to get a little slumpy. So continue with the upright spine as much as possible. Heels of the hands. Bottoms of the thumbs. One fist into the palm of the other hand. My neighbor is across the street. She's sitting in her backyard and she's out there with her grand puppy, and switch sides. And there's just a little bit of sun coming through the trees and on her hair, and she's blonde. And she just looks so peaceful out there. And just what a beautiful scene it is. You know, you see the woods behind her, this great big field, and just her and the dog. And I don't know. I don't sit enough to notice those things. I don't pay attention. I take a lot for granted. Backs of the hands. I just happen to look out and see that, and there's a little breeze, her hair's moving, and the sun on her is moving because of the trees. Switch. Interlace the fingers. Hold, switch them all by one, and go again. Funny, when I switched, it almost tickled today. Feels really funny. And then the webbing between the thumb and the forefinger. And then switch. And then you're going to, I like to kind of rub my hands together and kind of rub into the palm. You can do each finger if you want as well, but I'm going to take my hands and then I'm going to put them on a body part that is challenging to me today, and that is my low back. So you place them on whatever part it is that is a little bit of a challenge to you today, and try to find a comfortable position. So you're not bringing your shoulders up towards your ears. You're relaxing everything as much as possible while holding that spot. You're going to send awareness, maybe love and appreciation, certainly energy. Then we'll slowly remove our hands and we'll sit back into our chair like we did in the beginning of class. So we're sitting back a little bit. Our spine is still long, so we're not slouching, but we're just kind of more supported by the chair. And so I love yin yoga a lot. And one of the kind of prominent teachers is Bernie Clark, and he's fantastic. He's Canadian, so by far he's awesome. And he has this quote about tension anywhere in the body is tension everywhere in the body. And I was thinking about stress and how even though we think of it being very maybe emotional, just thinking about the trickle down of this tension, even if it's emotional tension, and how it manifests and exhibits all over the body. So I think step number one is kind of identifying that tension. Maybe the root cause of the tension, and then the following steps would be to kind of either relax or relieve that tension, and then hopefully prevent it. I don't have a good answer for those things. I mean, I know yoga helps, obviously, but it's funny to have these tools in your toolbox and ignore them, kind of forget about them. And again, noticing helps you fix it. So notice the body toward at the end of practice here. Notice what you'll be bringing with you from the chair. not just to the chair this morning, but now from the chair. What are we bringing with us for the rest of our day? And usually we'll set an intention for class, but maybe now set an intention for the day. We'll bring our hands to our heart and we'll thank ourselves for coming together this morning and practicing. May we all feel loved, grateful, and connected. And may we have the strength and courage to overcome all the obstacles before us. From my heart to your heart, peace and namaste. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, everyone, for coming.